Hare Krishna, Namaste, Chapter 18, which is entitled as Sannyasa Yoga. Sloka 41, Part 4. Brāhmaṇa-kṣatriya-viśāṁ śūdrāṇāṁ ca paran-tapa karmāṇi pravibhaktāni svabhāva-prabhavair guṇaiḥ. We learned that how when the gunas of mind and the gunas of body are of same nature, it works together either towards destruction or towards progression. If both mind and body of sattva guna, it is progressive towards Krishna, towards liberation. When the gunas of mind and body of rajas and tamas, then it is destructive. Now the question comes, how can we make the gunas of manas and sharira of same nature, of sattva guna? Well, as we said earlier, the body is gotten from our previous karmas. Changing the nature of that body, which is due to our previous karma, is quite challenging, may not be possible, but certainly the guna of body can be overpowered by the guna of manas. Through Bhagavad Gita, so far we have learnt at several occasions, several places, how and what needs to be done to cultivate that sattva guna and to increase that sattva guna at our mind level. Changing gunas of the body which was obtained due to our previous karma is quite a task. We did not decide how we want to look like at the time of birth. It is certainly not like how we buy a car. We have a choice to choose the color, model, make, etc. But when we take birth, we are not given a choice to choose our body configuration. It comes with some default settings based on our previous karma. Our color, height, appearance, etc. is simply a result of our previous karma. Therefore, it cannot be changed. Well, one may say that the science has advanced so much. If I want, I can change the color of my body. I can change the appearance of my nose. One may say so. But yes, the science is very well advanced, but it is not going to change the gunas of the body. If one is born with rajoguna body, the science cannot change the rajoguna to sattva guna. A person who is born as a brāhmana, though he may not have sattva guna, still considered as a brāhmana, but called as Brahma Bandhu, because he got a body of sattva guna, but his manas is not of sattva. Therefore he is referred as Brahma Bandhu, related to a brahmana by birth alone. His activities are not brahmanical, though he got a brahmana body. Likewise, a person who is born to a king but does not have any kshatriya qualities, then he is called as Kshatriya Bandhu, meaning he is related to a Kshatriya by birth only. By body is Kshatriya, but by mind, manas, is not a Kshatriya. Why? Because the gunas of the body and gunas of the mind are different. They vary. Compared to the strength of the gunas of body, the strength of gunas of the mind is more powerful. The mind has the power to influence the gunas of the body. That is, mind gunas has the capacity of overpowering the gunas of the body. Let's see this and understand in a different angle. Chandalas are of two types. One is called Jati Chandala, another one is called Karma Chandala. Chandalas are those who are very low in their activities. They can even eat dogs for their survival. Jati Chandala is one who is born into that jati, the caste called Chandala, the lowest form. Whereas Karma Chandala are the person whose actions are that of Chandala, not that they are born as Chandala. If one takes birth as Chandala, their primary guna is going to be tamo guna. If their mind is of sattva guna, though being jadi Chandala, that person can progress positively, can progress spiritually. But by mind, if one is of tamo guna, then that Chandala has no chance for spiritual progress. Let's understand this. One gets the body based on the previous karma, say as a Chandala. So he gets a Chandala body. That is Jati Chandala. As body will be primarily dominated by Tamoguna. But he can develop Sattva-guna in his mind through proper food, Ahara Shuddhi, that is by consuming Sattvika food, by practicing yogas, following the instructions of saintly people and following dharma. Even such person can develop Sattva Guna in his mind. That means, though he is born as Chandala or a Shudra, he can still progress spiritually by developing Sattva Guna in his mind. There is a story in Purana where there lived a hunter by name Mrighari who was low by his nature. He was very uncivilized. He used to kill animals for his survivals. When Narada Muni happened to be in that vicinity, he saw this sinful act and he gave good advices to Mrighari. Mrighari heard these advices submissively and adapted those advices brought into practice. This Mrighari by birth was low born but developed Sattva-guna in his mind, which overpowered the gunas of his body, and he became a great devotee of the Lord. Opposite example is Ravana. Ravana was born as son of a brāhmaṇa. That means his body must be dominated by Sattva-guna, but his mind was full of rajas and tamo-guna. His actions were abominable. Therefore, he falls under the category of karma chandala. That is, though he is born as son of Brāhmana, his actions were that of a low born. Exactly like the son of Indra. He was born as son of Indra, that means by birth he was a devata, but his act was like a chandala. For those who are jati chandala, like Mrighari, chances to progress spiritually is possible, is high. Whereas for those who are karma chandala, like Ravana, their progress spiritually is very questionable. For a moment, let's forget that Ravana is actually one of the doorkeeper of Vaikunta. Due to curse, he came down. Please, let's not bring that over here. Let's see the examples to the subject that we are discussing here. Otherwise, these things will bring up a lot of confusion. Ravana is taken as an example to illustrate how a jati chandala and karma chandala can be. Ravana falls into that category of karma chandala. By birth, he is not chandala. He was a brahmana, but by his action, he became karma chandala. Mrighari, by birth, he was jati chandala, but by action, he was no more chandala. When we say action that he performed under the instruction of Narada Muni, not those actions prior to instruction of Narada Muni. Let's see a positive example. Bhakta Prahlad by birth was an asura, but by his actions he was a great devotee. By body he was asura, but by mind he was full of sattva guna. How was that possible? As we said earlier, the gunas of the mind can overpower the gunas of the body. That is why Ravana, though he had a sattva guna body by birth, Ravana's mind, which was dominated by tamoguna and rajoguna, overpowered the guna of his body, which he got from his birth, which of sattva guna. Likewise, Prahlad had a body of asura, which is of rajoguna, but Prahlad's mind was full of sattva guna. Therefore, his mind was able to overpower the rajoguna of his body. That is why it is said, by birth, if one is born lower birth, like Chandala, they still have lot of hopes by training their mind to become sattva. With that sattva guna mind, one can influence the gunas of the body. Whereas if one is karma chandala, meaning their behavior is abominable, their actions are of low nature, very uncivilized, then even though if they are born in a high class family, there is no hope for them to attain moksha. What we have discussed so far in all these few sessions is quite important and should be understood clearly, because this answers many questions that may arise in our mind when we see the society. Why this person is like this? He is a brahmana, but he is talking against God, Vedas, is very offensive. Whereas on the other hand, this person is not even a brahmana, he is a shūdra, but he has great devotion to the Lord. His behaviors are that of a brahmana. We have certain expectation. If it is brahmana, then that person should be like this. If it is shūdra, that person should be like this. But the fact is, that is not right. It varies. Though by birth one may get a body dominated by sattva guna, but not necessarily that person has sattva guna manasa, sattva manasa. Likewise, though a person born with a body dominated by tamoguna, but their mind may be with sattva guna. We can certainly alter the gunas of our mind through proper food and spiritual practices to cultivate brahmanical qualities to overcome the default mode of our body. And this is the purpose and goal of Krishna consciousness, to uplift everyone to higher qualities from their lower standards. Chanting Hare Krishna Mahamantra, reading scriptural books, serving the temple, associating with like-minded saintly people, having sincere desire to please Krishna, and of course eating prasadam, the food that's offered to Krishna. All these will accelerate one's Krishna consciousness, reduces our rajoguna and tamoguna, and increases our sattva-guna. Vidura, Prahlad, Vibhishana are all good examples. They developed that sattva-guna in their mind by making use of their free will, svatantriya. Independence is given to us to make right choices in our life. Let's see a couple of more examples before we can end this topic. The great sage Vishwamitra by birth was a Kshatriya, which means his body is dominated by Rajoguna, but by his free will, the independence given to him, through his austerity, he was able to influence the modes of the body with the power of his mind. That is, the sattva guna of his mind overpowered the rajoguna of his body, because as he was by birth Kshatriya, which means he is of Rajoguna. But later he became a great Rishi, Brahma Rishi. One cannot become a Brahma Rishi unless and until one is in Sattva Guna. But by birth he was a Kshatriya, dominated by Rajoguna. Unless he has changed from Rajas to Sattva fully, he cannot be accepted to be a Brahma Rishi by Vasishtha Muni. So, with the help of his mind, he was able to overpower the gunas of the body and became Brahma Rishi. Another example is Parasurama. His Sharira, his birth was a Brāhmaṇa. That means dominated by Sattva Guna. But by his actions and free will, he was able to influence the body's guna with the power of his mind. He overcome the Sattva Guna with Rajoguna. He acted as a Kshatriya, though by birth he was a Brāhmaṇa. Exactly opposite to the previous case, Vishwamitra, who was born as a Kshatriya but became a Brahma Rishi, whereas Parasurama, born as a Brāhmaṇa but acted as a Kshatriya. All this is possible only when the mind is under control and able to influence the gunas of the body. Now to wrap up, we know the answer why Ravana behaved like that, why son of Indra behaved like that, how come Prahlad was like that, and Vidura was like that, Vishwamitra and Parasurama. And also we saw a story of Mrihari, and we can also think about ourselves where we stand. By just being born into a high-class family by birth, it doesn't guarantee love of Godhead or moksha. It is only when the gunas of mind become sattva, everything is possible. That is, one can develop Brahmanical qualities even if one is not born as a Brahmana, not by birth a Brahmana. The opposite is also true, that one can develop demonic qualities as well, though one is born as a Brahmana. In the 16th chapter, we have discussed who are Devas, who are Asuras. Those who has divine qualities are Devas, and those who doesn't have those divine qualities are said to be demoniac, Asuras. Likewise, those who have Brahmanical qualities are Brāhmaṇas. And now immediately we may complete the sentence saying that those who doesn't have these qualities are not Brāhmaṇas. But that is not the right way of saying. For example, a country has citizens. Citizens, those who abide the laws, and those who doesn't. But both of them are citizens. Just because someone does not abide the laws of government does not disqualify them to be not a citizen. Likewise, though Brāhmanas may not have those qualities, still they are Brahma Bandhus. By birth they are Brāhmanas. By qualities they are śūdras. That is why the scripture says, Kalo Śūdra Sambhavaha. In Kali Yuga, it's hard to find Brāhmanas. Pretty much everyone falls into the category of Śūdra. But it really doesn't matter whether a person is Brāhmana, Kshatriya, Vaishya or Śūdra. What really matters is, are we having bhakti, love of God? That is what is going to give us moksha. If one has developed an unflinching, unalloyed love towards Krishna, that person doesn't need to go through the progressive program to be born as a Brahmana to attain moksha. Whatever class they may fall into, whatever stage of life they are into, they can attain Krishna. With this clear understanding, now let's enter into the meaning of this sloka and the following slokas based on the 4 classes in the society. Brāhmana, Kshatriya, Vaishya and Shūdra.
Namaste, Hare Krishna.